Could the Los Angeles Lakers be trading for Zach LaVine? And then also, what's the latest with Brandon Ingram? Are the Pelicans trading him? Are they not? We'll dive into that on today's show. But welcome in the NBA Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. And before we dive into the Zach LaVine Los Angeles Lakers conversation, we picked up 31 subscribers on our last NBA Now video. I'm trying to beat that. So if you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. If you guys could join our family here at Chat Sports and never miss a thing, never miss a beat around the NBA. But let's break it down. So the Lakers and Zach LaVine, I think if I had to predict my next move in the NBA, it would be the Lakers trading for Zach LaVine. And that's for a multitude of reasons, and we'll dive into that here in a second. But let's first off kick it to a quote from Casey Johnson, the most tapped in Bulls beat reporter. He works for NBC Sports Chicago. And, being a Bulls fan, it's pretty common knowledge. When Casey Johnson speaks, you have to listen. And this is what he said following the Sacramento Kings DeMar DeRozan sign and trade. He said they also will continue their efforts to trade Zach LaVine and now have 2 second-round picks to possibly attach as assets in that quest. Coincidentally, the Bulls and Kings held trade talks centered around LaVine before the DeRozan interest materialized. And this is common knowledge to, Bulls fans, NBA fans. The Bulls are desperate to move off LaVine. They've been desperate since the last trade deadline. Why they did not do that deal then, I do not know. But, this has turned into almost a toxic situation with the Bulls. Clearly, LaVine, he's never came out and flat out said he doesn't want to be in Chicago, but with reports we've gotten from his agent, just from, the whole nine around this situation, it's pretty clear that both of these sides don't want to be there. So a trade could definitely be coming. And also more kind of fuel to this fire here is Rich Paul, Zach LaVine's agent, owner of Clutch Sports, said this: I want to make this clean and clear. This whole idea that Zach has been anything but professional in this situation is false. This guy has played hurt. He has represented the franchise with class. A lot has taken place during his time with the Bulls, and he's taken the high road every time. Does every player get frustrated at times? Yes, but Zach has been the ultimate professional and deserves better. This is getting toxic in Chicago. This is also following reports that the Bulls apparently weren't happy with the way Zach LaVine has handled this whole situation. And also Rich Paul and apparently Zach LaVine weren't happy with the trade destinations that the Bulls presented to Zach LaVine. Hey, here's a thought. Maybe you don't have a lot of options out there because of that contract. Him making $43+ million next year, kicks up to 46. Then it gets to $49 million. Plus he's got the 15% trade kicker. It's truly one of the worst contracts in the NBA. But let's tie this back into the Lakers here. And Zach LaVine, I think, I say all this to say this. I also do think he's almost become underrated. People think he is just a complete negative asset, that he has no positives out there on the basketball court. I mean, if you just take away this past season when he only played in a 25-game sample size, due to the injury, this was a guy averaging 24+ points on incredible efficiency over the past 3 seasons. And also in that 2020 year, when the Bulls were at top of the Eastern Conference before Lonzo Ball went down due to the injury, he was averaging 27.5 points a game, 5 assists on 51% from the field and 42% from downtown. So how could the Lakers get this done? Well, this is a trade idea we cooked up here, and it was the Bulls receiving D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent, and then the 2 second-round picks that the Bulls did get from the Kings, attach that on to Zach LaVine, and send that to Los Angeles. Now, if you're a Bulls fan watching this video, you're probably saying, why the hell would the Bulls want D'Angelo Russell? I understand that. The Bulls, in this situation, I could see this being very similar to the Drew Holiday trade this past season. When the Milwaukee Bucks traded Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers for Damian Lillard, they didn't have a need for him. What did they do? They rerouted Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics for Malcolm Brogdon and multiple first-round picks. I could see the Bulls doing the same thing with D'Angelo Russell here. But hey, you guys let me know who wins this trade. Or if you're a Bulls or Lakers fan, just let me know if you guys would do it. Give me a CHI for the Bulls or give me an LAL down in the comment section. Curious to see what you guys have to say. All right, so another big trade piece and trade target that's been out there is Brandon Ingram. As you know, I think it's almost guaranteed that he was going to get dealt if you would have asked me this a couple weeks ago, but it's been very quiet since. So this was coming in from Ryan Phillips, pretty tapped in with New Orleans. He said this. He said, for weeks, rumors have persisted that the New Orleans Pelicans were looking to unload the forward and his $36 million expiring contract prior to the 2024 NBA draft. Reports swirled the former All-Star would soon be on the move. That never came to pass, and now, with free agency winding down and most rosters fairly set, New Orleans is reportedly running out of trade partners. Now, this is incredibly interesting because the New Orleans Pelicans, following that DeJounte Murray trade, I immediately thought that he was going to be on his way out of New Orleans. And this is a guy, 6'10", pretty sneaky, underrated playmaker, averaging over 5.5 assists over the past 3 seasons. Can see over the tops of the defense. He's phenomenal at generating open shots for his teammates, and he also can get to the bucket at a very high level, has a decent enough jump shot where, it's a threat to opposing defenses. And, Ingram obviously did have his postseason struggles this past season against Oklahoma City Thunder, but the Pelicans were kind of a mess, and plus they just lost Zion heading into that series, and, he had Lou Dort, putting him in a chamber that whole time. But also William Galori of The Athletic did write up this piece about Ingram. He said, without an Ingram trade, the Pelicans would have to find some middle ground with their forward on an extension. There's some optimism within the building that the two sides could come to terms on a deal that makes each happy. I don't understand why the Pelicans would do this. I think the Pelicans need to move on from Ingram. And, it's an old cliche of you got too many cooks in the kitchen. And there's only one basketball out there. I'll never forget James Harden when he was talking about, his Rockets back in the day going up against, one of the best teams of all time, those Warriors. We had KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond. And he said, hey, there's only one basketball. I could use that argument for the Pelicans right now. And plus with, how, each player on the Pelicans likes to operate offensively, like DeJounte Murray needs the ball in his hands. CJ McCollum needs the ball in his hands. I think Zion Williamson is at his best when he's running that point guard spot where he's running that point forward and he needs the ball in his hands. And like everything we just said about Ingram, he's going to need the ball to be at his best out there on the basketball court. So I'm not sure what the Pelicans are going to do here. I would be desperately trying to trade him if I were them, but where could he go? I got 4 teams. And again, I actually agree with the report we got. The destinations are really slimming out here from Ingram, but these are the 4 teams I came up with. The Houston Rockets, the Miami Heat, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the Heat have been looking for that third star for a while to pair up next to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, so maybe they go all in on Ingram for just one season, and they view him as that piece to get them over the top. What about the San Antonio Spurs? I have been very confident that I could see the Spurs going all in on a guy this year just to take advantage of Wemby still on his rookie contract and maybe try to steal a championship when Wemby is still, within his first 4 years in the NBA. So maybe they get desperate at the trade deadline or right before the season starts and swing big on Ingram because, hey, it's also just an expiring deal. Like, if it doesn't work out, he's off the books, for the years following that. But also the Houston Rockets and the Lakers, the Western Conference is stacked. You're going to need some top-end talent to compete. So, maybe those two try to get involved. But you guys predicted for me. Rumors were hot originally around Ingram getting traded. Now they've completely stalled out. So you guys let me know. Will the Pelicans trade Brandon Ingram? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments section. As always, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed here to Chat Sports on YouTube. Really appreciate the support on our channel as of lately. So, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time. As I was about to say, as always, go Bulls. That was just habit from me hosting our Bulls channel. But you guys have a good day, and we'll see you guys next time.